for Donald Trump, who I may be voting to impeach.
Donald Trump has already done a number of things which legitimately raise the question of impeachment.
I don't respect this president, and I will fight every day until he is impeached.
That is grounds to start impeachment proceedings. Yes, I think that's grounds to start impeachment proceedings.
I rise today, Mr. Speaker, to call for the impeachment of the President of the United States of America.
I continue to say, impeach him! Impeach 45! Impeach 45!
So we're calling upon the House to begin impeachment hearings immediately.
On the impeachment of Donald Trump, would you vote yes or no?
I would vote yes.
I would vote to impeach.
Because we're going to go in there, we're going to impeach the motherfucker.
But the fact is, I introduced articles of impeachment in July of 2017.
If we don't impeach this president, he will get reelected.
My oath requires me to be for impeachment, have an impeachment hearing. He needs the scarlet eye on his chest.
The representatives should begin impeachment proceedings against this president.
Things do not look good for the Democrat Party right now. Just when you didn't think it can get any worse, CNN, NBC, and other main media outlets have come out with the latest polling, and it shows that the Democrat ship is not only sinking, it may have sunk, because never before in the history of them recording polls on favorability, networks like CNN that have been around for 30 some odd years, never has the Democratic Party numbers been so low. And based off that clip you just saw, that is exactly why. They are so obsessed with Donald Trump. They're so Trump deranged. The TDS syndrome, the TDS is just piercing through their veins so coarsely that it forces them to be on the wrong side of every issue just to oppose him. During his speech to the joint sessions of Congress, President Trump said flat out, he said he could cure cancer, he could cure AIDS, he could find out the remedy that he can give it to everybody, where every single person can become a trillionaire. He can figure out how to get us to Mars in 5 minutes. And the Democrat Party would find something to be negative about it, have something negative to say. And for what? What is their gain? Really think about it. Outside of the coalition of the victimhood, what do they have in common besides Orange Man Bad? And with their Trump derangement, it is forcing them to go off the cliff. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you clips of these outlets and just how far the base, the progressive base of the Democrat Party really wants them to go. As a matter of fact, I would go as far as to tell you to really brace yourself, because the way these folks are talking, I would not be surprised if what they claim January 6th to have been, I would not be surprised if I don't see that times 1,000 coming from the left. So let's get into these video clips where we can see these abysmal, terrible, tragic numbers of the Democrat Party, and rightfully so. Check this clip out.
I'm a big fan of the oldies, and when it comes to the feelings that Americans, voters at large, and Democrats have, I can't help but think of Chubby Checker. Why is that? Because the question is, how low can you go? Voters' views of Democrats in Congress, the lowest ever approval ratings on record per Quinnipiac University. Look at this. Approve 21% among all voters. Look at the disapprove level. Holy Toledo, 68% of all voters disapprove of how Democrats are doing in Congress. Now, you might think that is low, and this is the lowest number on your screen here, down at 21%. But I want to bring you over here to how Democratic voters feel, because this is truly unbelievable. Amongst their own party, how do Democratic representatives, senators, how are they viewed? Get this, the plurality disapprove at 49%. More Democrats disapprove of the job that their party is doing in Congress than approve. Get this, only 40% approve. These are truly horrific numbers. They're in the trash bin of history. That is how low these approval ratings are. When you can't even get plurality approval among your own party, you know you're doing something wrong.
Now, did you hear that? Now, you know, typically whenever we see those poll numbers come out, people love to say, oh, well, you know, Trump supporters and Democrats, oh, those are all Trump supporters that think the Democrats are going bad. No longer can that be used. We just saw a poll where a national poll, all voters, 21%. 21%. So even the 27 that NBC threw out, or the 29%, I don't even know where they're getting that from. CNN, 21%. That is the lowest number in the history of either party since they've been keeping record of it. And why is that? It's because of extreme left-wing politicians like Chris Murphy, who we gonna get into this clip, where he is so blind. What he believes his followers, what the Democrat followers really want, is more of this psychotic BS. And they really believe that the American people want them to be even more extreme than they already are. And let's face it, when you can't stand up for a boy that has cancer, when you can't clap for a 95-year-old mother of a returned hostage who the Biden administration pretty much left for dead, when you can't clap for the laws that have been passed protecting women, like Laken Riley, who passed away from one of these Tren de Aragua illegal immigrant gang members who savagely took the girl's life. They can't celebrate that. The only thing they applauded for was money to Ukraine. So if I wasn't mistaken, I would think the Democrat Party is all about destruction, obstruction, and chaos. And they love to say the Republicans are so disorganized. But why is that? You got the mainstream media lying every 2 minutes. Even right now, while the CPI report came out saying how gas is down, eggs are down, interest rates are going down, housing costs, everything is starting to turn. And we're only, 53, 54 days into President Trump's term. But here's how they caveat that. They'll say that, records go low amid fears that the country will go into a recession and yada, yada. They keep throwing this out. And then one of my favorite things they do is this anonymous source or, expert, behind the scenes person from the Trump campaign. Bull crap. You know who that anonymous source is? Some person on their freaking staff that just gave an opinion, something just to make the story seem negative for Trump, positive for Democrats. And this is what they're missing. So let's check out what Senator Murphy has to say when he's on this show, Face the Nation. Let's see how he responds. Check this clip out.
Our new NBC News poll, as you just saw, shows the Democratic Party at an all-time low approval rating. Why do you think Democrats are failing to connect with Americans at this critical moment of urgency, which you described?
Well, it's what I just talked about. I mean, I think Americans want the Democratic Party to stand up and fight and to take risks. Listen, I understand that had we gone into a shutdown, even for a handful of days, it would have been difficult, but it would have sent a message that the Democratic Party is not going to be bullied by Donald Trump. We are not going to let them write spending bills unilaterally that cut programs for people we care about, that give the president new and extraordinary power.
If you're enjoying the video, do me a solid. Hit that like button. I'll never ask you for a cash app. I will never ask you for a super chat. But you hitting that like button, that is currency because it helps spread the video around. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. On the Real Politics Podcast, that's what we do. We talk real politics. So once you subscribe, hit that notification bell and then select all. That way, you'll be notified when I upload new videos. You notice something? I'm starting to notice something. With these Democrats, when he say cut programs for people we care about, who are you talking about, Senator Murphy? Because it doesn't cut Social Security, it doesn't cut Medicare, it doesn't cut Medicaid. So what programs are being cut in those people you care about? Even when they say the American people, I realize they're not talking about you and I. They're talking about themselves. When they're talking about this democracy that they're building, they're called the Democrat Party. We are the Republicans. America is a republic. And so when they talk about saving our democracy, I believe they genuinely are talking about themselves. That circle of lunatic left-wing libtards that want to just control the world and have all of us running around as minions at their beck and call. And it makes you wonder, what possibly could be their end game? What, do they believe that everybody's just going to lay down and they're just going to rule and have this utopian place? That's why I believe they're really attacking the attention and the minds of people. Attention is the new currency. Because when they grab the attention, unless you're mentally strong and you're paying attention to all the subliminal crap going on, they literally have gotten people to forget. I'm talking about long-term memory gone. People forget that everybody loved Trump in the 90s, especially black folks that all of a sudden believe that he's just so racist. White people, everybody loved and admired Trump, a successful businessman, the epitome of the American dream. But then once he starts running, you see the power of the left-wing mainstream media. They literally convinced an entire population of people that President Trump, who had never been known as a racist, who had the #1 hit TV show for 15 years in The Apprentice, billionaire, successful builder, was in all the rap songs, all the songs, had all the big fights, Mike Tyson, everybody, paid for 2 of Jesse Jackson's presidential campaigns. All of a sudden, it's just the biggest racist in the world, makes David Duke look like a Catholic priest. It's nuts. And I really believe that there was something in the jab that they made everybody take. I really do. Because there's no way you can explain the level of this psychotic way that people react when they hear his name. Or when you ask somebody, hey, you know, what did Biden do right? What did Kamala do good you like? You ever notice they will come up to you going crazy on Trump? I hate Trump. He's a racist. He's yada, yada, yada. Okay, well, what have the Democrats done well that earned your vote? Or what did Joe Biden do so great that we missed out on by not voting for Kamala? And I know you hate Trump, but tell me, what are the Democrats doing that is good, that's working? They get to shaking and gyrating. Oh, I don't got time for this. Trump is horrible. And they turn and walk away. They literally are unable to articulate a point without bringing this man's name up. And it's BS people like him. Check this. I'm going to let it finish.
I think Democrats in this country, but I think the broad middle of the public as well, want to see our party fighting in exceptional ways. That is the conversation that has to happen inside of the Democratic Party, inside our caucus. And if we don't get that right, if we continue to work with Republicans, if we continue to hand Donald Trump more power, we are going to lose our democracy.
Now, you see what I mean? How he says lose our democracy? When they say that, who's losing anything, Chris? Senator Murphy? All they doing is catching the waste, fraud, and abuse. That's it. Even with this spending bill, do you know that the Democrats came out lying to the public, saying, oh, it's cutting veterans, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. The spending bill was the same exact level it was in December of 2024, September of 2024. And guess who voted for it? Every single Democrat in Congress, every single Democrat in the Senate. They voted for it. It was 1.6 trillion in September of 2024, 1.7 trillion in December of 2024. And the continuing resolution that was just passed was 1.7 trillion. The only difference is President Trump took $6 billion and put it over to defense and allocated some other billions over for to secure the border. That's it. Everything else is at the exact same spending levels. Everything. But yet the Democrats came out fear-mongering and what they really want. And let me know in the comments if you agree. Do you believe the Democrat Party is just trying to rile up the people to get somebody to be a crash dummy and go out there and do something extreme, either risking the life of the president or risking the life of one of the cabinet members? In the comment section, say yes if you feel like the Democrats are just trying to rile people up because they want to see somebody be a crash dummy and do something extreme, or put no if you don't feel like that's what they're doing. But I really would like to get your feedback. Now, check out this clip here, where we got we got Chris Matthews. He says Democrats are at a record low approval rating because Trump and Elon tell lie after lie. And nobody checks the facts anymore. They are completely lost. Now, isn't that the pot calling the kettle a skillet? And I know it typically says pot calling the kettle black, but you know, you got to be original with that. In other words, the pot calling the kettle a skillet. Everybody's all base and wrong. These lunatics always love to say how Trump lies, but you ever notice they never tell you what he lied about during the debate? Oh, Trump lied all over the place against Biden. About what? Oh, against Kamala. All Trump did was lie. About what? Well, Kamala Harris stood there and told bold-faced lies. Joe Biden, bold-faced lies. And the media, oh my God, they're so great. Trump gets up there and literally tells it like it is, just like the whole Springfield, Ohio thing. Remember they said, oh, that's fake, it's not real. There's literally footage of a Haitian woman who was in the driveway eating a cat and got arrested. Facts. I saw it with my own eyes. There's police reports documenting it. But you know what the media says? Well, you know, Trump said that all the Haitians weren't eating cats and dogs, which is a lie. Or they say something like, well, that lady wasn't even in Springfield. She was in such and such Ohio, which is like 3 miles away. So it's the little bull crap, which is why people are tired of it. But let's see what Chris Matthews, what type of TDS he's going to spew out today.
Chris Matthews, what do you make of these numbers for the Democrats?
Well, you could have seen them the night that Trump addressed the Congress, and you watched the Democratic Party. They seemed like they weren't there. They were sort of vacant. They weren't saying anything with their manner. They never questioned the facts. They let the president lie about Social Security and say that we're giving benefits to people who are 160 years old or to their grandchildren. We allowed Elon Musk to go on television and tell everybody that we're using Social Security as a lure to bring people into the country illegally, that we're giving them benefits, which we're not. We're giving them to illegal people in the country who come in illegally. We give it to them, lie after lie after lie, and said nothing. I'll tell you, James Carville, who said the Democrats should stay silent, may be partially right, but where he's wrong is you have to have a fact checker. There needs to be a war room. Remember in 1992? Yeah. Remember how Bill Clinton won that election because he had a war room? He and George Stephanopoulos were down there in Little Rock, and they were checking every fact, and nobody checks the facts anymore. And the lies are getting through to the American people.
You know what? The thing that makes me so upset about these people, anything that they disagree with is a lie. Just like any person or any policy that you dislike that they have, you're a racist, you're a bigot, you're a misogynist, you're xenophobic. It's like they try to shame people into agreeing with them. Now, this man just stood right there and talked about how Trump spoke about the hundreds, really the millions, it's like 10 million people on the Social Security rolls that are over 100 years old. That was the truth. And President Trump never said each one of those people were getting a check. He said they're on the rolls. We don't know if checks have been going out, and if so, who's cashing it? We're digging into that. We all know that illegal immigrants were lured here under the premise that they would get all of these benefits, and they did. They were getting thousands of dollars put on bank cards, scooters, luxury hotel stays. It was so off the chain, as I'm sure that you know. The Democrats said, oh, all these people from around the world, they don't want to eat our free American food. We need to up what we give them on their debit card so they can buy their own type food from their homeland. So as opposed to just being happy with housing, some money in your pocket, and transportation, oh, no, no, no. You got to be able to get that taco, that burrito, those rice and beans on the taxpayer dollar, even though you weren't invited. Well, technically, they were invited, but you came here expecting a handout, was given a handout while people in North Carolina, while people in different parts of the country were struggling after storms. You got homeless veterans on the street. Literally, one building that housed homeless veterans, they had to get out so the illegal immigrants could take over. But that's a whole nother topic. But for Chris Matthews to stand here and talk like this is why the Democrat Party is losing, and they may never come back. So I just wanted to jump in and share with you, congratulations, because we continue to keep our foot on these Democrats' neck. Now they're down to a 21%. Well, the networks are saying 29%, but you saw what I saw. CNN poll says 68% of Americans disapprove. 21%, only 21% approve, 68% of Americans disapprove. Then when you just isolated it strictly to their own base, 49% of Democrats disapprove, only 40% approve. Forget MAGA, forget conservative, forget Republicans. The majority of their own base don't like what they're doing. And then you got that small section of those progressive extremists, the Squad, the AOCs, the Jasmine Crockett's, who if they let them control this party, I assure you, you will see sex changes on monkeys and giraffes. You will see tap dancing classes for hyenas. You will see people migrating here from other planets because they're going to make it so good for them with all the giveaways. They're trying to replace a class of people, which was the black people, who are waking up. Yes, it's taking longer for our people, my people, to wake up because we're the only demographic that's married to a freaking party and has screwed us over for decades. Since 1960, we were voting Republican prior to 1960. And that's when the BS kicked in. And they see the trends and they say, oh, Lord, these people are waking up. We got to get another base. So what do? They bring in a low class of people that need help from the federal government, that need to depend on the government for their protection. And also from that protection, they get a vote. And this is what they hope. And one other thing I want to touch on, even though we're getting the illegal immigrants out, under the Biden administration, they made the Census Bureau, take the numbers and counted the numbers with those illegal immigrants, which upped their populations out of control. You know what that means with an increase in your local population? More congressional seats, more electoral college votes. So even though we're getting them out, the game is not over. The fight is not over. So we got to keep helping President Trump. We got to keep showing the world, showing the other Americans, the Democrat Party sucks. We can never let them get breathing room again. But other than that, hey, if you're still in here with me watching this, I thank you so much. I really do. And as always, if you haven't already liked the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And other than that, I'm Brian Maxwell saying I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out, y'all.